Let's go to Tim Blair now to see what he's been making of all the comings and goings in politics. Tim, great to catch up with you again. I loved your column today. You found enough silliness in every party in any corner of the political landscape.
Yeah, it isn't difficult, and I think as the illustration of the column showed, it's as though the Almighty himself was so annoyed by our very boring election campaign that he's delivered unto us an incredibly chaotic and entertaining and popcorn-worthy post-election. It's just nothing but chaos. It's beautiful.
I loved your line, particularly about Labor people complaining about the factional bother boys or whatever. You remember the term you used. You said that's a term they love so much they probably use it as their password for their Guardian subscription.
Yeah, it's as though like people who are acting all shocked about a factional blow up in the Labor Party. Really, really, it's a bit like expressing a surprise at a fight in a rugby league game or some sort of biffo in a hockey match. It's a factional brawl is always going to break out. The interesting thing is how, at least in that little part of our Canberra world of dispute, the interesting thing will be how long it rolls on. You get the impression, I think, that certainly with Ed Husic, that he doesn't like to have a lot of mates. There's not a lot of support for him, so maybe that particular dispute won't go on too long. Not sure how it's going to go with the former Attorney General. Maybe that'll have some more echoes. But again, he's pushing 70 years old. Maybe it was time for him to go as well. So maybe this won't be the big Labor blow-up that some people are calling it.
I don't think it will. I think Dreyfus will retire, and I think, Ed Husic's probably done himself a bit of damage by complaining so publicly. I want to get to border issues, and we've kept an eye on the UK, where, of course, they've tried to implement some sort of border security, and, of course, the Conservatives are held down whenever they try and do that. Well, now Labor's in power, and Keir Starmer suddenly realises that borders are actually quite important. Have a look.
So when you have an immigration system that seems almost designed to permit abuse, you're actually contributing to the forces that are slowly pulling our country apart. So yes, I believe in this. I believe we need to reduce immigration significantly.
It's astounding, Tim, that you watch these people for decade after decade. The leftists will demonise anyone who talks about these issues, and then when they get into government, they actually are confronted by reality and realise, it's not xenophobia, it's not racism, it's just called managing your sovereignty.
There's got to be a more powerful phrase than closing the door after the horse has bolted, because this is closing a gate and then putting up a barrier and then building a moat and then cutting off that edge of the continent after the horse has bolted. This is coming 4 or 5 decades after Britain, all very well-meaning in the initial phases. But this is several decades, probably even more than 40 or 50 years ago, that Britain started down this path of blind multiculturalism with no real consideration or thought given to the deeper issues beyond that, especially given the rate of arrivals and the assimilation of those arrivals. And this is what Starmer's now addressing. He actually sounds, in that soundbite, he sounds as though he's opposing himself. This is how Britain's got now. They're at war with their own thoughts and beliefs and previous policies. It's very confounding. It must be terrible to be in Britain and try to find a path through all of this.
And you're so right. I mean, he's left trying to undo decades worth of mismanagement. It's impossible. Thanks for joining us, Tim. We'll catch you later in the week. Tim Blair there. You can read his stuff in the Daily Telegraph.